What's going on, everybody? Quancredible here, and the moment that anime watchers and manga readers alike have been waiting for. We've all been waiting for this exact moment. I don't know if it's been like everybody, but I know at least me and a couple of other people have really been excited to finally see the five Spirit Guardians. And that is really what this episode was basically focused on, as well as what the training entails for, the group, the Heart Kingdom group, so to speak, that went to be trained by them. Now, one thing immediately that I really do like about the episode as a whole is that it really does have that like older Black Clover feel where it just like really speeds through the episode, not like in a bad way, but it doesn't really waste too much time on a lot of things that don't matter. Seeing as this part was not adapted in the manga at all, but it's still canon to the story, is I feel like it's really like cool to see like how everything kind of has played out that we, being the manga readers, didn't get to see that we can see in the anime. So basically, when the episode starts off, it's everybody there who was supposed to be there, getting ready to meet the Spirit Guardians, and like immediately it was really funny because there's that scene with Charmy just on Laurel Petchka's lap, and she's getting petted and fed, and it's like she's a pet or a cat or something, and it's like, how did Charmy even get there in the first place? She got there first. Like, she was there before anyone else, so who knows how she even snuck into the Heart Kingdom and got there. But it was just really funny. But then from there we get introduced to the other four members of the Spirit Guardians, because we already knew Gaja, but we also have like the plant user Petrov, the fire user Floga, the wind guy Smirk or Smirk, whatever, he's kind of weird, and the earth chick Sarado, I want to say that's how you say her name, I'm not for sure. I mean, I watched the episode, but names are hard, words are hard, bear with me here. So basically, this is where they go down into breaking down who goes with who. And one thing immediately that was, it's weird because I don't want to say I didn't like it, but one thing about Magnus' character is that him turning down to train with Floga in favor of training with Luck, with Gaja, like seeing how that actually went down is kind of, it's one of those things where like you see someone doing something wrong and you're like, man, I wish I could go in and stop him, because it just shows that like Magna at this point is very, very hyper focused on like Luck and not being left behind, to the point to where like it really is hurting him. Like, he possibly could have actually got some solid training out of going with Floga, despite like not being able to even make mono words at all. He might have still been able to learn something. And then for him to fail so miserably and just walk out, like he just left, like he couldn't do the words because his magic was too weak, and he just like a sad dog just like pouted out, and it felt so weird, just because it felt like Magna would have a bit of that Asta in him, where he would just like never give up, at least like try, like, some trial and error, but he kind of just tried like a little bit and just quit. And like, again, I understand it. If your magic is just too low, then there's nothing that you can do about it, but I expected just a little bit more backbone from Magna. Hopefully we get to see him have a moment later on in this like training arc, so to speak. And then of course it was amazing to see that like Luck just immediately was able to break down and just use them like just fine. And then the part with this the wind guy training Finral, it's really interesting because to see that Finral gets a one-on-one training session is, I don't know, because Finral's he's a supporter, so like to see a supporter get one-on-one training without like another person with him to support just seems very interesting. And I think it works out because it's definitely going to help Finral become more self-sufficient, because it's one of those things where Smirk, I'm just call him Smirk, he was saying that like, oh, you think that you should only be supporting your friends, so but like what happens if someone attacks you? You think your friend should just have to jump in and save you? Like, that's not really supporting that. And I get what he's saying, that's more of like a hindrance. Now, I'm not really for sure exactly what he's trying to make Finral think of, because Finral has already trained really hard to try to get an attack spell. He's probably not trying to push him to learn an attack, but more so just be more skilled at defending himself as well as analysis of the battlefield, which is all really important. I feel like that kind of goes with his theme of like feeling the wind, and the wind is everywhere and all that stuff. All I know is this dude would get on my nerves if I had to learn under him in like real life. People like that are really cryptic, or just like what are you talking about? Like what are you saying? And then the next one I want to talk about is Leo. Leo's one is really interesting because when Leo like was talking to Flogan, he's like, "Hey, I wanna see how strong you are to see if I can even learn anything from you." I was like, "Okay, Leo." I was like trying to have a little bit of backbone. I see. I mean, we all knew that Flogo was gonna be like mad strong, but he just like casually makes that huge eruption, and it was dope to see. And also for him to mention that Leo has even more potential than him. Obviously, we've all known that Leo has crazy potential, so to see what he's gonna do in the future is gonna be very interesting. Mimosa and Charlotte training together is a very interesting pair, just because like I would have never guessed those two together. I would have guessed like Mimosa and Noelle together, but I guess if we're going by matchups, what makes sense? I mean, honestly, I would have thought they would have got the plant guy, but you know, whatever. Like just being more focused on learning the earth, like the way Sarado broke it down, it made sense. But like, still, I would have thought they would have went with the plant guy at like first glance. Also, it's funny because I almost feel like Asta and this Sardo person would actually be a good fit for each other, seeing as how they. I feel like her explanations would get to Asta, even though like she really can't teach him anything. But just the way she explains things, like, oh yeah, you go swoosh and then bam, and then you just feel it. And it's like I feel like they would communicate well. With Real and later on Charmy and Petrov. It's funny because we see that Charmy is actually a genius when it comes to just everything. Now I know a lot of people try to get on me sometimes 'cause I say that Charmy's kind of a gag character, just because she really is though. Like there's no explanation for why she's so amazing. She just is. So like to me, that's kind of in the realm of gag characters, as well as Real also like. I mean, we knew Real was a genius because he's been stated, you know, the youngest Magic Knight captain. That definitely would hold some weight in itself. But it was nice to see that they can both just immediately tap in to using mono words. And then lastly, we get to see Noelle and Nero, but we didn't really get to see them training. It was really just them conversing with Lower Petrica, saying that, you know, we're going to be the ones to, you know, take out Vanica. It's going to be us four. And it's crazy to see that, like, Lower Petrica just was not a match for Vanica, as she stated herself. I kind of hope we get to see this fight as a flashback, maybe, but at the same time, I feel like they're not going to be that generous. But it would be so cool if we could see like the flashback fight and see how it actually all went down, to see what Vanica and Majecula's fighting style was at that time, and how Laura Petrica fights or fought at that time, you know, before she was cursed or whatever. Now, as far as like the mono words and the runes go, I'm probably going to save that whole explanation for another video, just because I feel like it would be mad long if I tried to like fit an entire detailed explanation of you know, mono words, runes, the examples, all that. So I'll probably do that in another video, maybe tomorrow or so. But like real quick, you know, basically just putting commands on their spells. That's basically what they're trying to achieve here. We get to see through the like montage at the end, it looks like Leo's already making like tons of progress. Obviously Charmy and Real have made lots of progress. I mean, definitely Finral is going to struggle. But as we've seen at the montage, everybody's already making a ton of progress. I mean, we didn't really get to see anything from Noelle and Nero yet, but they may be saving that for the future. And through all these trainings, Asta's is definitely going to be the most interesting, seeing as he doesn't have mana. So like how he's going to be able to get stronger is really going to be entirely up to him. We do see him sparring with guys, definitely fighting strong people over and over again. I imagine if Asta just goes down the line and just keeps fighting them like different spirit guardians every day, he's bound to get stronger. But it's funny because God just tells him to come at him with everything, and God is just literally playing with him. I mean, we didn't get to see like them go too all out, but God is just clearly just playing with Asta. Like, yeah, this is no difficulty. He senses no danger from Asta whatsoever. So it's just it really shows like Gaj's level, because Asta would give a lot of people a hard time. Like Asta can give vice captains a hard time. As far as captains, this is probably how a captain would be dealing with Asta. There's really no real issues at all. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they progress Asta through this, if we get to see a lot of it. And with that basically being the episode, the ending is really just, you know, like I said, Finral talking to Yami, just relaying what's going on. And we see what appears to be Yami at the Ulti Volcano. I'm guessing he's going to do some training. I don't know if we're going to actually get to see Yami's training. That would be cool if we did, but I want to say this is the first time we've ever panned to Yami from another scene and he wasn't in the bathroom. Like, I really feel like any time we've been somewhere else and we pan to Yami, he's in the bathroom, like every single time, or leaving the bathroom or going to the bathroom. This is the first time the bathroom is just not involved at all. And I like how the preview made a bathroom a reference. That was kind of funny to me. Speaking of the previews for the next episode, I'm not even for sure what's going on. Like, we see like some snow, but I don't like recognize any of these characters off the top of my head. I don't know if I'm just blanking right now, but I don't know who these people are. I doubt, because I see snow and I really doubt we're going back to Devil Believer stuff. I actually high-key hope we don't do anything with the Devil Believers at all, actually. I really want all Heart Kingdom stuff, or an all training stuff from here on out. But it looks like we're getting something with that, as well as we may get to see a peek at Yami's training. Maybe just a peek, which I'd be okay with that. So definitely excited for next episode. Let me know what you guys think about it down below. This episode was pretty decent for me, like a solid info dump slash, lots of character reveals and a little bit of dialogue. So definitely like a 7. It was a solid episode. Definitely getting me pumped for the very near future. So outside of that, be on the lookout for the mono words, runes, all that Heart Kingdom stuff. That's going to be the video for tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that. Other than that, I don't really have anything else for you guys. So make sure you enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video.